Hello everyone, welcome back to another video from the world of English exams. In this video we are going to learn how to write an informal letter in the IELTS writing task 1 for the general training test. This video is going to be very informative as it is going to provide you with the necessary steps, and also we are going to take a sample question and see how to write the letter sentence by sentence and paragraph by paragraph. So do stay tuned and check the video till the end if you wish to know the complete information about informal letter writing. So before we start the letter, do subscribe to our channel World of English Exams if you haven't already, to receive all the latest updates and the information with many more interesting and informative videos about the IELTS test. So let's get started. This slide shows you the overview of the writing test. For both academic as well as general, there are two tasks. However, in this section we are going to cover task 1 of the general training test. So let me just restrict myself today to explaining you about the general training writing test. There are two tasks which need to be completed in this test. The first task is a letter which should contain at least 150 words. Around 20 minutes of time will be given to write a letter. However, the total test time is 60 minutes or 1 hour. You can plan it accordingly. So if you think that you will take more number of minutes to write the letter, that's completely fine as long as you are able to complete both the tasks within the time frame. Then 33% of your score is given by task 1, which is equivalent to 3 bands out of 9. Then moving on to task 2. After you complete writing the letter, you should write an essay. A topic will be given to you or a question prompt will be seen, and you have to write at least 250 words. Ensure that this word length is maintained, 150 for task 1 and 250 for task 2. Otherwise, the comment by the examiner would be under length, and definitely it would receive a penalty. Your score will be lowered if you do not meet the minimum word length. Then around 40 minutes of time will be given to complete the essay, and 6 bands will be allotted, or 66% of the overall score is due to task 2. Now if you complete both the tasks within the time frame, only then you are going to get a high score. Just remember that. And now stating that task 1 is very important for 3 bands, and we are going to learn how to write a perfect letter in an informal style. So there are many things that you should know while writing an informal letter. First, you should know the context of the letter, to whom you are addressing it, and then you should know on what purpose you are writing, and thirdly you should know how to write the letter. Now let's see how many types of letters are there in the IELTS test. There are 3 basic types of letters: the formal letter, semi-formal letter and informal letter. So I would suggest all the test takers to be well aware of how to identify the letter just by looking at the question prompt. This must be done within the first 10 to 20 seconds of looking at the question. So if you can analyze the given title, and if you can actually go ahead and divide the letter into bullet points as you can see it on the question, you don't need to worry much about how to answer and how to make the essay look cohesive. There are already hints given to you. All you need to do is identify the letter and write it appropriately. So on the basis of whom you are addressing the letter to, there are 3 types of letters: formal, semi-formal and informal. So I am going to tell you how to write an informal letter now. In the subsequent videos, I am going to teach you how to use the right vocabulary and what are some of the phrases that you can use while writing letters. So do check out our YouTube channel World of English Exams to know all the latest updates. Now, what exactly is an informal letter? So as the name suggests, informal indicates that you don't need to be very formal, or you can be casual while writing this letter. As such, this is a letter which is written to friends, family members, cousins and all that. So it is also called as a personal letter. You're writing to a person whom you know very well. So the style of writing the letter, or the tone which you use to convey what you're trying to say, can be informal. You should not maintain a very formal or I must say, a very academic kind of tonality. However, don't mistake me. When you're writing an informal letter, just because I told that you can use an informal language, please do not use words like cuz because of instead of because, and don't use emoticons. Those are the emojis which you use while chatting with your friends. So such kind of informality and using short forms like LOL, LMAO, all those are not intended to be written. You have to make sure that the letter is written properly, but the style can be informal. That's what is the meaning of that sentence. Next one, there is a rule which most of the test takers wouldn't be aware, and that is in an informal letter, while writing an informal letter, you must use word contractions, because using word contractions shows that informal tone. So you can use idioms as well, because idioms and colloquial language are completely accepted, but make sure that you don't deviate from the topic much and talk about general stuff. So for examples of word contractions would be I'd instead of writing I would. So if it was a formal letter, you would have written I would like to. So, but here you can write I'd, which means you can contract the two words into one. Similarly, you can write I instead of I have. So such word contractions are only allowed in an informal letter, but I would say that if you are writing a semi-formal letter, you have to be really careful while using word contractions. In a formal letter, word contractions are completely negative. You should never be using word contractions while writing a formal letter, whereas it is mandatory to use these word contractions while writing an informal letter. Now, having understood what an informal letter is, let's look at a strategy that can help you to write a letter very well. This strategy is called as the power strategy. There are 5 steps to writing a good letter. The first one is to plan what to write and whom to write. Then the second step is organize. So you need to plan and you need to jot the points in an order as to the order which is prescribed in the letter. So there are 3 bullet points which will be given to you, and you need to follow the order as mentioned in the bullet points. And not just that, guys, it is a small thing which many students forget, that is using the right tense. Yes. So just because you have understood the context, you just should not continue writing in whatever tense you please. Rather, you should stick to the tense that is conveyed by the question. When we analyze the question, I am going to tell you how to know the tense. But it is always a recommended practice that I suggest to all my students to actually go ahead and use the actual tense that is told. Only then you are going to convey the content or whatever you are trying to say in a perfect way. After you plan and organize, you have to start writing. If you do not follow this order, what is going to happen is you're going to write something. Later, if you get another idea, I think you'll have to erase it and rewrite it. So this leads to a lot of confusion. You may descend into confusion, which is not the intention, right? So you're going to plan, organize, write, and after you write, please have at least 4 to 5 minutes to evaluate and review. You need to check for spelling errors, or maybe you have to check for the band descriptors, whether you're satisfying the 4 band descriptors or not. Basically, band descriptors are nothing but the marking criteria which are used to tell whether you have written a good letter or not. The same band descriptors are also there for task 2 with a small change. So evaluation and reviewing will help you to overcome that and understand what the band descriptors are. There are 4 band descriptors. The first one is called task achievement, which tells you whether you have satisfied the requirements of the task and fulfilled the whatever the letter prompt is asking you to. So if you can write the letter properly and completely, then you will get a good score for task achievement. The next one is called coherence and cohesion, which refers to the generation of the relevant ideas and how well you are connecting one idea with another or one sentence with another. In simple words, cohesion means organizing the content together in the form of paragraphs. Then the next band descriptor is lexical resource, which refers to the range of vocabulary that you need to use while writing a letter. Finally, there is grammatical range and accuracy, which suggests that you need to use a wide variety of sentence structures while writing a letter, like simple sentences, compound sentences, complex sentences, passive sentences, if conditional sentences, and all that. So make sure that you're understanding these band descriptors very well. If you wish to know more information about band descriptors, it is available on our YouTube channel World of English Exams, or you may also want to check out our website www.worldofenglishexams.com. Now, having understood the power strategy, let's move on to actually looking at the structure of writing the letter. This is very, very important to be followed. So basically you're going to write 5 paragraphs. The first one is called introduction, wherein you state the purpose of writing the letter, why exactly you want to write the letter. Then, as I told you, there are 3 bullet points which you have to indicate in the subsequent parts of the letter with supporting details. So the point will be given in the question prompt, and you have to elaborate that with the relevant supporting details in the form of a paragraph. And for each and every bullet point, you need to write a separate paragraph. That makes up 3 body paragraphs followed by a conclusion. Yes, you should never skip writing the conclusion. You have to ensure that a conclusion is written. It need not be too elaborate. It can be a small one. Rather, it can be just 1 or 2 sentences. Which should actually be followed. So this is the structure which gives you a high score. So now let's see how to analyze the question, and let's get into some serious writing. Okay, so the given question prompt has been marked in different colors to show how you should analyze a question on your test day. You have recently moved to a different house or apartment. Now this is what is called the context. You have recently moved to a different house. Write a letter to your English speaking friend. The moment you see this phrase, it has to be understood that it is an informal letter as you are writing to your friend. Now, what are the 3 bullet points? Explain why you have moved. So the reason why you have shifted. There. Describe the new house or apartment. So you have to give a brief description of what the house is like. Then invite him or her to pay you a visit. So obviously, since you're writing that you have moved to a different apartment, you're inviting your friend to come over and have a visit. So then the next set of instructions are very important. You need not write any addresses. In a general letter, we definitely started with a to address and a from address and a subject line. However, all these are not required to be written when you are writing an informal letter. For that matter, any letter. So in the IELTS letter writing, you are not supposed to write any to address and from address, nor any subject line. Write at least 150 words. And in a conventional letter, we would start it with the phrase respected sir or respected whatever it is. However, when you're writing an IELTS letter, the instructions would always say that you have to begin the letter with dear. Then since it is an informal letter, we should ensure that we are writing the first name of our friend. We don't need to use any formal phrases like Mr. or Mrs. or something like that. We can address them with their first name. And while saluting the letter or signing off, we can use our original name. Please, I would suggest you to avoid writing XYZ or ABC instead of your name. That would sound too off topic, or I must say, it sounds off putting. So let's not do that. So this is how you have to analyze any question. This would actually take 20 seconds of the time. So the context, then the purpose of writing, to whom you are writing. So clearly, if you can analyze this within the first 20 seconds. Now let's follow this structure of introduction, bullet point 1, bullet point 2, bullet point 3 and conclusion. So, dear Amy. So you should start your letter with dear. So dear Amy is the name that I gave to my friend. Then what is the first paragraph? It is the introductory phrase. In a formal letter, you will directly start by writing the purpose. However, when you're writing to your friend, it is a courtesy to start with phrases like hope you and your family are all well. So just ask about their well-being in one sentence and then you continue. I am writing to let you know that we've just moved to a new home. So you recently moved to a different apartment. That is what we saw in the prompt, right? So I'm just going to indicate that I'm writing this letter to let them know that we have just moved to a different home. Now this is called the contextual purpose, where you are giving the clear idea to the reader. Then let's see what the first bullet point is. Explain why you have moved. So you need to talk about the reason, and when you look at the tense, it is a combination of present tense with the past tense. This is called present perfect tense, and uh, we shall give an imaginary context. It need not be a realistic one. You can write an imaginary context as well. You can imagine the various reasons what made you to move to a different home. Now let's see how you can write it. As you are aware, the building where I used to live was in a dilapidated condition, which means that it is completely very shabby and it needed to be renovated. Okay, so that's what I'm writing. As you are aware, the building where I used to live was in a dilapidated condition and had to be renovated. Then what happened? Despite several requests. So despite is nothing but in spite of. So despite several requests, the landlord refused to allocate money to fix the issues. So there were many problems in the home, but what happened when I registered a complaint, or when I complained to my landlord seeking help from him, he refused for that. So that is one of the reasons. Moreover, now these sort of phrases or words are called cohesive devices. They are the ones which are going to help you to form a paragraph. Moreover, now that I am married, we wanted to stay in an apartment where we could spend some quality time together. This is also a very legitimate and acceptable reason to move to a different home, isn't it? So now that my family is growing and I'm married, so I definitely want some private space to share with my would be or my husband or whomsoever it is. So now that I have established that I am married, so we wanted to stay in an apartment where we could spend some quality time together. So these are the reasons I am stating for shifting or moving to a different home. Now, what is the second bullet point? It's asking us to describe the new house or apartment. So how do you do that? It is a spacious apartment which is well illuminated and it offers a spectacular view of the city. So I'm giving a brief description of the home. I've started with the lighting. I'm telling that it is very luminous, it's very well illuminated, and the ventilation is really good. And it offers a spectacular view of the city. So it offers a very good, breathtaking view, mesmerizing view of the city. Then there are 3 bedrooms, a living room, and a kitchen. Another feature worth mentioning is the balcony, which is ideal for relaxing and enjoying the cool breeze. So this is how you describe a home. Then this place is close to my workplace, so I am able to relax as commuting is no longer a cause for concern. So I'm indirectly telling that uh, my workplace was way too far from the place where I used to live, but now I've taken the care to get an apartment which is nearby, which is in the vicinity of my workplace, and hence I no longer need to travel. So I'm saving on that time as well, so that I could spend with my husband. Okay, so this is how you describe a house. Basically, you start with the explaining the exterior or outward features, and later you'll talk about the advantages of living in that. That's it. We are not supposed to write any more points here. Then what is the third bullet point? Invite him or her to pay you a visit. So how do we explain that? Since Christmas is around the corner is nothing but it's Christmas season. That's what I mean to say. Since Christmas is around the corner, I would like to invite you and your family to spend the holidays with us at our abode. Abode is a place where we live. Indirectly, I'm inviting them to come over and spend the vacation with us. We will be pleased to see you. So this is how you invite your friend. Then I told you that after you write the 3 bullet points, you have to write a conclusion. So let's see. Can't wait to meet you. In fact, I am looking forward to your visit. So definitely, I'm telling my friend that I am very eager to meet her, and I would love her to come over and spend the vacation with us. Then, how to sign off? Please do not use phrases like yours lovingly or something like that. But the more acceptable way of signing off is warm regards. And punctuations are very important. After you write this phrase warm regards, you have to insert a comma. Then I'll write my first name, which is Mary. So this is how you write the letter. I hope you have understood how to write it. First you'll start by addressing them or saluting your friend. Then you will write the introduction. Then the 3 body paragraphs, one in each paragraph with clear supporting ideas. Then you write a conclusion followed by signing off. So this is how to write an informal letter. I hope that you have now got a clear idea how to write it. So if you found our video useful and helpful, please do like it, share it with all your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel World of English Exams. So till I see you with the next informative video about the IELTS test. Happy preparation, guys.